Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of the Jenn Sheelen podcast. I am Jenn of jensheelen.com. Today is Monday, April 25th of 2016, and I am joined here by my co-host, Doug the dog. You think, Dougie, you ready? You ready? Give me a high five. What a good boy. Excuses crunching. I didn't have any soft treats. So if you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you are a regular, welcome back. I had to make sure I used the word viewer. I kept saying listener, and my dad caught me, so viewers. I fixed it. So, anywho, I am on various forms of social media. I am on, as Jenn Sheelen, I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, and of course, Ravelry. I have a Ravelry group going as well to talk about the podcast and talk about what we're working on, and I do announcements in there about my patterns and giveaways, and I look for test knitters in there too, so keep an eye out for that. If you do like to do test knits or are interested in any of my patterns, keep an eye out there and check it out and see when I post for my little test knitters. Alright, and oh, don't forget, my show notes will be on my website when we are done. Right, buddy? Yeah. Okay, so the podcast that I listened to today while I was getting ready, I've talked about how I've started that new little trend where I listen to, can you sit any closer? I listen to a podcast while I set up for doing my own. So I listened to, it's Knits and Beads by Lorelei, and I actually found her on Instagram, and I won one of her giveaways. I love a giveaway, you know this. So I won some of her little stitch markers, and I was so excited by this. Check these out. Look at that little birdie. Lorelei, I was so hoping I got the birdie. I was looking at that one, I'm like, oh, I hope I win that one. And I did. So, looks like Lorelei, she does jewelry, so I will link to her Etsy shop on my show notes, so you could check that out. But her podcast talks about knitting as well as jewelry stuff, so she's really sweet. Check out her podcast. It's on YouTube. Again, I'll give you a link to it so you can find it. Hey, buddy, what do you think? You approve? Good stuff? Okay, he's got a lot to say. Alright, let's get right into it. Spinning right round. So I've been on staycation. Do you think I got any spinning done? No. But that's okay. So my mom, my stepdad, and my little brother came to visit for about a week, and we decided to do a birthday exchange for the May birthdays. So my birthday's in mid-May, May 18th, and my stepdad's is May 28th, the day before my anniversary. So we decided to swap birthday presents, and oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So I gave a heads up. Now, my stepdad's, he works for Train, and his office is out of Jacksonville, Florida. They live in Port Orange, Florida. So I was like, oh my god, there is a new yarn shop in Jacksonville called the Yarn Cow. I'm like, you've got to visit there. Please visit there before you come up here. I'm like, that would be so awesome. So sure enough, they followed through, and my mom and my stepdad took a trip up to Yarn Cow in Jacksonville and got me some goodies. And the reason I'm putting that in this segment is because they got me some hand-spun goodies. Love that. I actually rarely see hand-spun yarns in any of the shops that I visited. Huh. So then my mom thought, oh, she's a spinner. She'll appreciate some hand-spun yarns. Why, yes, I will. So, you gonna check this out, Dougie? Okay. So this is from Ewe Rock Homespun, and let's see, her name is Gretchen. I'm going to say Greminger. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Check out that pretty hand spun. Oh my goodness. It's kind of dark. Hopefully you could see it. Maybe put it back here. I don't know. It's a little dark in here. I think somebody's blocking my light. He's sitting a little close. So I got 2 skeins of that, and it looks like, let's see, 2 ply, blah, blah, 68 yards-ish a piece, so not bad. I'm thinking that's going to be a bear. I've got to knit a bear out of this. A hand-spun bear. Hello. Hands down. And then they got me more from Ewe Rock. Oh, I'm so excited for these. Look at these colors. So fun. Love it. And it's so funny. When I pulled it out of the gift bag, I'm like, huh, that kind of looks like hand-spun. And as I'm thinking it, my mom goes, oh yeah, and that's some hand-spun. I'm like, Mom, you're a genius. Hello. Hey, Dougie, come here. You're kind of in the way over here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Sit. Good boy. He knows I have his cookies in my lap, so that could be why he's almost sitting on top of me. So that is my Handspun from my mom's. So fun. And, oh my goodness, I had a giveaway in my last episode, so we gotta talk about the winners, and she's gonna love this because she loves this guy right here, so he's gonna help. Cindy, Cozy Couch on Ravelry, won my Handspun. Congratulations, Cindy. You won. You talked about the Aurora Borealis colorway from Spunky Eclectic, and you said you'd knit a cowl out of it. So, honey, you win. And Dougie, we gotta make sure we get Dougie fur on it, because I saw your note just before I started to film that you'd be like, I would love some Dougie fur on it. It would seem like I'm cuddling with him. So here you go. We're gonna put a little Doug in that. Right, buddy? Okay. Good boy. So that's all I have for right now for spinning right round. Again, I got no spinning done, but that's quite all right. I was on staycation. It's all good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine working on now and selfish knitting again. Because again, I was on staycation, didn't really do a whole lot. Actually, I take that back. I did a lot of good stuff. It was only for one project, but I'll get to that. I didn't touch my sweater at all, and I was all cocky last time. I was like, oh, I'm going to finish that in like a few days. Yeah. Didn't even touch it. I didn't even look at it. Nope. Didn't happen. That poor sweater. I'm so excited about it. I really am. I will get to it later. It's cool. No worries. I started swatching for my next pattern, and I decided to go with the shawl. It's been in my head, and I've been looking at stitch patterns, and I'm like, it's stitch dictionaries, and I'm like, oh my god, I found the perfect thing. Perfect thing. So, Doug is really co-hosting today. He's going to sniff it. So what I did was I kind of found a few patterns that really, quote-unquote, spoke to me. That I was like, oh, I really like that. And what I kind of do is I look at stitch dictionaries when I go to design, and I say, what stands out to me, and what can I put together? And that's really what it's all about. It's like, what do I want to put together? And I'm kind of thinking of a shawl idea or a cowl, and what would look good, or what stands out to me. So I did this little swatch right here. And I just kind of make it an ongoing swatch. I was like, I knew I liked this stockinette ridge a lot. I knew I liked these little flowers, and I'm like, well, how do I want to place these on here, and what do I want to do with them, and whatnot. So I kind of just do a swatch and see how I like the layout. Simple, right? Just a little square. It's not like I started the shawl and then I had to rip it out. Actually, I'll talk about that later. That does happen too, unfortunately. But I did find a new favorite stitch dictionary. Oh my god, wait till you see this. First, let me get the big guy to lay down, because he's looking at me for his cookies. Come here. Come lay down. Lay down. All the way. Good boy. Okay. I got the Douglas settled. Good boy. I found my new favorite book. Oh! So, Knit Picks, I believe, is still having a sale on all their books. Thank you, Seagrin. Oh my goodness, because I love the Barbara Walker books, and then I found this one. This one is called Up, Down, All Around Stitch Dictionary, and it's by Wendy Bernard. And she's the author of the Custom Knit series. How much do I love this book? How much do I love this book? Totally. And you can see I have little stickers in there for all the little patterns that I like. I actually had my mom go through this book while she was here, and I said, what stitches kind of stand out to you? So that's really cool. She put some stickers in there for me. But what I like about this book is you see that my thing is knitting jar covers. So usually I have to take a pattern and convert it to knit in the round. So this book does it for me already. Oh my god. So it was perfect timing for me to knit a flat shawl. It's cool. But it'll help me later, because I know more jars are going to be coming. They're really popular. I love making them and creating new ones, and there's just so many ideas I have for those. So this will be very helpful for me later. And I actually have a confession. Now brace yourself. We all have these moments, so don't laugh at me too hard. I'm trusting you, knitters. Don't laugh too hard. So I used to be a written instruction girl. I've talked about this. Written instructions versus charts. If it was only written instructions, I hated charts. Nope. Don't want to look at them. Nope. Then I started using them. Cool. And usually I use them to knit in the round. Whatever. Ain't no thing. You read it right to left each time. So I'm going to convert these patterns to knit them in the round. And even talking to Sigrid, my editor, she's like, yeah, I had to chart that up and it helped me, and still wasn't clicking. Finally, I'm putting a chart together the one day, and I think it was for pixie petals, which was really hard. And I'm like, maybe I should chart that. And instead of trying to write the written instructions backward, the chart will show me how to do it. Let that sink in. If you are a chart knitter, you know what I mean. It was a really dumb moment, and I'm being very honest right now, and I'm sharing my dumb moment. It wasn't my finest moment, but it was just like, all of a sudden it got brighter in the room, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so smart. I'm so glad I thought of that. I'm like, I feel so stupid. I'm like, no wonder Sigrid charts them out, because it helps her. I'm like, oh, that's why. So now, I was literally taking written instructions and writing them backwards, because you have to do that to make it go round. And if you haven't tried doing that, try doing it and you'll know what I mean. It's, yeah, it was a challenge. So if you just put it on the chart and do the wrong side row, or right side rows from right to left, and the wrong side rows from left to right, oh, when you go to knit it round, all you have to do is read that from right to left. Again, not my finest moment, but I love how this book will bail me out of that. So I don't even have to think about it. I don't even have to do it. It's done for me. Solves the problem. But yet I still confessed to you knitters that I had a really not so bright moment. We all have them. I'm not going to call it a blonde moment. Just a not so bright moment. We'll just say I hadn't had caffeine yet, or I was tired. We'll go with that. That's fine. Okay. All right. Thank you. Humor me. Just saying. Okay. So I talked about the sale at Knit Picks, so definitely check that out and see if that sale is still going. I want to say it goes to the end of April, and those books are wicked expensive. So I think the Barbara Walker ones usually go for around like $30, and I got them for like $18. And of course with Knit Picks, you spend $50, you get free shipping. Do it! It's worth it! Oh my goodness! Great stitch patterns in those books. Her first one is my absolute favorite. It's a usual go-to for me. But now I have all four, which I'm stoked about. And I have this new one, which I love. So definitely go check that sale out. It's awesome. And then that's an excuse to buy yarn if you don't hit the $50, because you want free shipping, right? So you should fill it with yarn. You're welcome. I know. You're so welcome. Sorry. And oh, I see it. I should mention, if you are a new viewer and you have not seen how red my neck gets, this just happens. I get a little excited, a little overexcited when I podcast, and my neck likes to turn beet red. This is why I don't play poker. So, my woolly goods don't do it. It's just me kind of heating up from the lights and being all like, oh my god, I'm podcasting. That's why I turn all red. So, I should have mentioned that earlier, before it started, so you can actually watch it creep up to my chin. Huh. I know. Okay. Oh. Beverage of choice! I'm actually going to do a combo with Beverage of Choice. I'm going to do Beverage of Choice and What I'm Stylin' together. Oh. So, what I am drinking today is NBPT Brewing, Newburyport Brewing. Their Greenhead IPA. Oh, so good. So good. This is, without a doubt right now, my favorite IPA, my favorite single. Absolutely. It is so good. It has a ton of flavor for a single. And it packs a little bit of a wallop. 7.2%. It's delicious. So, cheers! Oh my goodness, it's so good. And hubby and I had a chance to go visit the brewery as well. We were up in the area and stopped and had a couple pints, and I knit while I was there too. And it was fun. And what we got, my hubby's so funny, so he's like, I know exactly what shirt you're gonna want. You're gonna go, oops, sorry. You're gonna get there and you're gonna look at the clothes, and I know the exact shirt you're gonna want. Guess what? It's the one I'm wearing. It's the exact one I wanted. It's the slogan for this beer, and it's the beer that bites you back. And you can't actually see it on screen. But green shirt, beer that bites you back, yep, mine. So he bought me the shirt. And it's so funny. Every time we go to a brewery, he winds up buying me clothes, and he's he doesn't get anything for himself except for beer, but I don't mind that. I get a little spoiled. So, yeah, so we had a chance to sit there at the brewery, which was fun, and I was going to drink out of this mug and opted not to because I'm a giant beer snob and have to drink it out of a pint glass, or the glass depends on the beer, just so you know. So that one went out of my pint glass. I couldn't get it out of a coffee mug. I couldn't do it. It's so funny. You know how I love puns. I love a good pun. Check out this mug. 3 sheeps to the wind. That sheep is funny. That sheep is funny. I saw it and I'm like, I have to have this mug. My brother was with me too. He's like, really? I'm like, you don't understand. I have a love of puns. Seriously. So it had to be mine. And I said, I have to show this mug during my beverage of choice segment on my podcast because it is funny. And I'm sorry I couldn't drink out of it, that I am too much of a beer snob. I learned it from watching my friend Sheelen. It's his fault. Blame him. When he calls me a beer snob, I say, it is your fault. You created this monster. So, anyway, hilarious mug. And I said that sheep's funny. I'll stop, I'm so sorry. Okay. Alright. Oh, I didn't talk about the yarn shop we found. Oh my goodness. So, we were up in Newburyport, and we visited the brewery, and then we went to a restaurant called the Grog, which was awesome. They had oysters. Oh, I love oysters. And some yummy, yummy food. And hubby, while we're sitting at the brewery, he goes, I'm really going to earn some points right now. He's like, I'll bet you they have a yarn shop in Newburyport. We should go. And I'm like, I love you. I love that man. So we went to a yarn shop called A Loom with a View. A Loom with a View? Puns. I can't. So we did a little shopping. And I found some funny yarn, which is actually, it's called Warmy. It's by Amano, which is actually owned by Barocco. I've never seen it before and had no idea. Check it. Huh. And it's actually a gray. My lighting is really not behaving today. But it's a soft gray, which is my go-to. I always buy gray. I can't help myself. I'm a neutrals girl. It's how I roll. So, I bought 2 skeins of it. Oh, and it is 70% baby alpaca, 30% merino. That was going to be mine. Baby alpaca? Yes. Do you need to think about it? No. And then she had some Madelinetosh. Duh. Like, I'm not going to buy Madelinetosh. And I let hubby pick the color, which is why it's orange, which is usually something I don't choose. So I was like, all right, I'm leaning towards the neutrals or the blues and purples. Please pick me another color. So, hubby, thank you. He picked the oranges. And this is a really, really, it's called Spicewood. Don't know what I'm going to make out of it, but it's gorgeous. And it's Madelinetosh. Again, duh. Of course I had to buy it. Huh. It's gorgeous. It had to be mine. Just saying. So yeah, that was the yarn shop we visited, and that was A Loom with a View in Newburyport, Massachusetts. Super cute shop. What a sweet owner. She was so, so nice. So, thank you. And thank you for humoring us and helping us out after we had a few pints at the brewery. That was before we had a chance to eat at the Grog. Never go into a yarn shop after having a couple pints. Or, depending on how you think about it, go into a yarn shop after having a couple pints. You'll buy all the yarns. It's genius. I know. Okay. So I'm on to tips and tricks. Alright, am I in my right segment here? Yes, I am. Okay. So, how do you wash your woolies, knitter? Your woolly goods. How do you launder them? So, I've been asked this question about how I wash my knit goods, and, you know, because it can be scary. Dunking, like, we'll talk about blocking in another segment, but, or in another episode, but it's scary to take that beautiful knit item that you made and dunk it in a bath of water. You're like, oh, no. It's okay. It's all right. So, I usually, depending on what it is, my spinning, I kind of lean towards a little bit slightly warm water. I know I think I've heard it's supposed to be a little warmer. I just don't. But for my knit goods, I tend to go, depending on the colors, if it's really bright reds or blues, I go ice cold. Cold, cold, cold. Err on the side of caution, at least go like a almost a room temperature. That's your safe bet. Not warm, not icy cold, kind of in the middle. And I live by this stuff. Eucalyn. Okay, so I was actually interrupted when I was talking about washing your woolly goods, so I'm going to try with my new editing skills to put this together. So I was talking about Eucalyn and using that to wash your woolly goods and how I swear by it, and that you want to use kind of a room temperature water if you want to be safe. Err on the side of a little bit colder. Okay? So then comes, you have to, you know, you've gone for it. You've dunked your woolly goods in the water, soaking in there nicely. You did a little gentle hand wash. Nice. Then comes getting the water out. So, you don't really want to squeeze your woolly goods. Don't do that. You don't want to break all the fibers. It's not good for the yarn. So, what do? What I used to do is I actually used to take a ShamWow and just kind of gently press, squeeze the water out of the ShamWow. Gently press, squeeze the water out of the ShamWow. Take forever, to the point where I was like, oh, I'll wash that sweater later. But poor thing be sitting in the hand wash pile forever. So I'm like, huh. People have told me this other trick, and I was actually kind of afraid to do it. Finally went for it. So if you have a top loader washing machine, you can actually put your woolly goods in there on spin cycle to get the water out. Oh my, it's okay. Don't pick yourself up off the floor, fan yourself. It's cool. It won't hurt the garments. And I swear I was terrified. I'm like, I don't want to but wow, it's going to ruin it, and it's going to be all blah, it's agitated, it's got the agitator in there, oh my god, what's going to happen? It's fine. And if you want to, practice with a towel and watch what happens. It's cool. I actually put my favorite, most expensive sweater, I know, oh my goodness, most expensive sweater, and did this experiment, and it was fine. Of course, after I tried it on stuff that wasn't quite so expensive. And it was fine. It really, just all it did was get all that extra water out without, you know, really having to squeeze that fiber, and nice and easy, bloom, lay flat to dry, and it's fine. So if you have a top loader washing machine, I do highly recommend this to try to get some of that water out of your woolly goods, and it won't hurt it. And again, if you want to test it out, get a towel, soak it, throw it in there, see what happens. You hold the button down and you hold the lid up and you watch. It goes, and it gets all the water out. It's magic. And I was so happy to face my fear, and I finally did it. And it's so much easier than going with the ShamWow. It's a pain. That's not fun. So there you go. It'll save you some time, and you might actually wash your woolly goods instead of letting them sit in the pile. I did do that a lot. I still have a bunch I have to wash. I've been a little lazy. Just saying. Okay. This part's so fun. Oh my goodness. I'm actually going to out how naughty I was. I was so bad. So, my mom and stepdad came for the week, and my little brother surprised me and showed up a day early. Sneaky, sneaky. And he and I went and cruised Boston for the day. Well, my parents were, my mom and my stepdad were still driving on up. He was already here. Sneaky little devil. So he and I decided to go cruising around Boston. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do when we get in there? And we took the tea in, and, and we're, kind of walking around. He's like, I don't really know. I'm like, well, we kind of need to know what stop to get off of on the tea. He's like, let's go to Harvard Square. Okay. We get there, and I'm like, well, what do you want to see? We're kind of walking around, and he's like, he's a cigar guy, so he wants to go to different cigar places. I'm like, okay. I'm like, would you mind if I look for a yarn shop? He's like, yeah, sure, that'd be fine. I'm like, oh, you have no idea what you have just done, sir. So, I did a little Google mapping for a yarn shop, and it happened to be just a mile from where we were. Gorgeous day. Let's go cruising around Boston and go find this yarn shop. Now, when I looked for this yarn shop, I hadn't been to Harvard Square yet. So I assumed that on the walk to this yarn shop, there'd be a little bit more to see. Unfortunately, there wasn't, but that's okay. Gorgeous day out. We're walking along, we're chit-chatting, blah, 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 looking for this yarn shop. We round a corner, and I'm like, like, I've been here before. It was Porter Square. I had no idea where I was going. I had actually already been there, but we had driven there. And I was a little worried for a second there, because I was like, uh-oh, I think this shop actually closed down. Uh-oh. Thankfully it hadn't. It had just been purchased by somebody else. Whew. Yarn shop was still there. Walk was worth it. It was okay. I had been in Porter Square a few years back for an Amy Herzog book signing, and also went to a restaurant there called Christopher's in Porter Square. One of the best burgers I've ever had. Highly recommend it. It was amazing. Very good. Back to yarn. So, it was Mind's Eye Yarns in Porter Square in Boston. Huh. And I walk in there, and she actually added a whole nother room. So I walk in there, I'm like, oh my god, there's yarn everywhere. And she had Stitch by Jessa Lou bags. I just bought one, so I had to resist, but it was really hard, because she had so many of them. And she was a total enabler. Oh my goodness. She's like, oh, I have some hanging over there, too. I'm like, oh, why? Why you show me that? It's not nice. Oh, it's actually where I got my mug, too. Anyway, I was a little naughty. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw what I did. That picture really didn't even do it justice, either. Oh, I was so bad. And I'm in the back of the shop, and my brother's laughing at me. I'm going, oh my god, she's got this. Oh my god, she's got beautiful. Like, I couldn't help it. So, I bought this, and this, and this, and this. That's really bad. And that. Yep, and that. Oh, and that. Notice I bought a lot less yarn when my friend Sheelen was present. If he had been present for the shop, I guarantee I wouldn't have bought all this stuff. Because he's like my voice of reason, and he wasn't there. And my brother told me, oh, I have room in my bag if you need it. And oh, I bought fiber too. I did. So, I was all squishy and yummy. It was so much fun. This is Merino and Tussa, which is lovely fun colors. Oh my goodness, totally outside what I normally buy. Usually, I'm a neutral girl, you know, or blues and purples, blah, blah, blah. I went for this. This looks really fun, and I guarantee this will be really cool when it's spun up. So, I'm looking forward to that. And it's 8 ounces of it, too, so it's going to be so pretty. And usually when I spin Merino and Tussa, it kind of spins a little fine for me. So, I don't know how many yards I'll get out of that, but I'm hoping for like a 400-ish, so maybe I can make a pretty shawl out of it. We'll see. Anyway, I was really happy with the shop because I went in, I'm like, I do a podcast, and I like to look for local yarns and see, kind of what I could talk about. Oh my goodness, she had a bunch. So excited. She had Dirty Water Dye Works. What's up? Love Dirty Water Dye Works. Love it. And okay, fine. It's a blue, but it's a different blue than I usually buy. Does it say the colorway on it? Moon Shadow. So had to represent, get some Dirty Water Dye Works. Love her stuff. And then I got, I love this one, Toil and Trouble, which I found out she is out of Salem. And this is all sock yarn because it's the easiest thing for me to buy. I mean, I know how much of it I need, and I love knitting socks, and I love knitting shawls, so yeah, no brainer, duh. Go get sock yarn. This is so lovely. And of course, fine, it's blues and grays, but they're mixed, and it has cashmere in it. It had to be mine. I'm sorry, don't judge. But look at that yarn. Oh my god. It's so pretty. It's got cashmere in it. Let's see. Yeah, Super Rush Merino, cashmere. It's gonna be mine. Sorry, but no shame. Not even ashamed. Not even a little. All you knitters know it. If it's got cashmere in it, sorry, it's mine. Then I found this yarn is so fun. And I want to say she's out of Vermont. I believe I'm right. Wonderland Yarns, Cheshire Cat, Fuckweight Yarn, and this is Flower Bed. This is so fun. Okay, fine. It's purples, and it's greens, and it's whites, but it's a lot louder than I would usually buy. In my defense. I love this yarn. It is so fun. Check it out. Wonderland Yarns. Cheshire Cat. Love it. So fun. Cannot wait to knit with it. And I'm kind of... Well, I'll get back to that. I have an idea maybe for it, but we'll see. I'm going to need a vote later on. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's see, what was the other one that was local for me here? Oh, Dun Roving. And I've talked about Dun Roving before, and now I'm seeing them everywhere. Like, everywhere I look, I see Dun Roving. Huh. Pretty sure I saw it at the Newburyport shop as well. So, I don't know where I've been. Apparently, nowhere, because I had not noticed them. So, they are out of Maine. And this is, and of course I'm showing the price too, so bad, but you won't tell my friend Sheelen, right? So, Dun Roving Yarns, Frolicking Feet. And yes, it is a blue, but again, it's a lot brighter than I would normally buy. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of pretty. Right? Does it give me the colorway on it? Don't think this one actually has a name for the colorway. If I do find it, I will put it in my show notes. Super pretty. Done rubbing yarns. Like I said, I'm seeing them everywhere now. Awesome local yarn. What's up? And then, oh, such good stuff. And I think that was it. I thought I had a little bit more local. I guess it was just the 3 that I had local, but still, it seemed like a lot at the time. Usually I'll walk into a shop and it's like, oh, I have 1, maybe 2, you know, it's just not a big variety. I was very surprised and very excited to find all this local stuff. And then, of course, I found Jen Malabrigo. How do you avoid? I'm sorry, you can't resist Malabrigo. It's just like Madelinetosh. You can't resist. I'm sorry, especially when it's this color. Look at that green. It's looking a lot brighter with my lights, but oh my god, oh, it's so pretty. Lettuce, fingering weight, of course, and it was Malabrigo, and I avoided the purples and the blues, and I picked the green because duh. It's Malabrigo, so it had to be mine. I almost avoided it, and then I was like, nope, sorry. Then she pointed out these 2 other yarns that I was like, oh. And these are from, let's see, Fleece Artist. And they are out of Nova Scotia. So, not local. However, lovely. And it's BFL. Yes, BFL sock, which I have not knit with, and I just recently heard. Who was talking about that? Lori, was it you of Boston Mama Knits? I think it was. Talking about knitting socks out of BFL because it'll kind of keep a little bit longer. And I have a couple pairs of socks that have worn on me because they have a little bit of like maybe some cashmere or silk or whatever, but you put that on your feet and it's like walking on a cloud. So you just gotta know not to overwear those socks, which I kind of did. And now they're in my darning bucket where you go, oh darn, I have to go fix those. Awesome. Back to the yarn. So anyway, Lori, thank you. It was so funny that I just happened to get this and then watched your podcast and you talked about knitting with BFL for socks. Seriously, we're like always on the same page. So they got these 2 colorways. Okay, fine, it has gray in it, but it's got pink too. And I never buy pink, or I rarely buy pink. Look at that colorway. I mean, come on. So pretty. Does it have a name? Morning Mist. Oh my god. And this one I'm super excited about. Fine, it has purples and blues, and I know I keep justifying my purchases, but it has orange in it too. Oh my god. Look at how pretty. This one I was like, yep, that's mine. It's so pretty. And yeah, it has some neutrals and all that, but it had that pop of orange, and I'm like, that's going to be a good one right there. Just saying. Had to be mine. And these are, yeah, they're all BFL. So it's like, this one. Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back a step. The gray and the pink is BFL sock. The other one, this lovely little guy here, is merino, and just merino is superwash merino and nylon. I thought they were both BFL. Back that up, I stand corrected. But I'm actually really excited to try knitting a pair of socks out of BFL. So this might be a pair of socks, but I don't know because I'm going to need to take a vote later for knitting my new pattern and what color I'm going to use next. Keep these in mind. You might need to rewind and go check out these colors again to help me vote. Okay. So that was my showing off. That was very fun, and I was a very naughty girl, and I haven't splurged on yarn like that in a while, and it felt good. It felt too good, where I'm a little nervous that I might do it again. But it was so fun, and it was so pretty. I just need to take my friend Sheelen with me, because then again, he'll be my voice of reason, instead of saying, but I have room in my bag. Nice going, Mike. Nice going. Just saying. It's your fault. I blame you. You helped me. You assisted. You were a yarn enabler. There you go. That's what you get. Anyway. On to random thought. Now I've heard this, I think, on another podcast or here and there. People just talk about it. What is the weirdest place where is the weirdest place that you have ever knit? Okay. Now, I've knit in some bars, I've knit in some pubs, sensing a theme here. And in a brewery. So, I mean, those aren't really weird places. I mean, other knitters do it, you know, in coffee shops and whatever, and bars and all that. It's not, you know, I even talked at the brewery. I was asking the bartender, I'm like, you know, have you ever had a knitter in here? She's like, yeah, we've had a few. I'm like, oh, I'm not the first one. But no, I'm not. There's so many of us out there, right? So, excuse me while I sip. Oh, talking about beer made me thirsty. So I'm like, all right, where's the weirdest place I've ever knit? So, of course, cruising around Boston with my brother. See how that segued really nicely? We were cruising around, and he's a cigar guy, and he had found, last time he was here, he found this really cool cigar bar that he really liked. And I'm like, I would love to check this place out with you. So we made it happen, and it was really cool. You went down these steps, and it was almost speakeasy-like. Like, I felt like I was going to need to knock on a door and have a secret code word or something. Super dark. You walk down there, and I'm like, you're bumping into the tables and whatnot when you first get down there, because you have to adjust to how dark it is. A little smoky. It's a cigar bar. Really cool place. And I actually, gasp, don't worry, my knitting was okay. I pulled out my knitting. I worked on my sock blanket while I was there. Had to air it out a little bit after leaving. Pretty sure it still smells like cigars, but it can be washed. Without a problem. My knitting will be fine. So I thought that was going to be the weirdest place I've ever knit. Not the case. So the weirdest place I've ever knit turned out to be, my husband and I actually volunteer a lot for our local police department and sometimes fire department, you know, with various things that they need, you know, if they need to do fundraisers or whatnot, and they do at least once a year a big training exercise, and it's unfortunate that they have to do this kind of training, but it's, you know, it's active shooter training, and it's scary and sad that in our world that they have to train for that, but they have been able to come up with the resources to do it. So what they need is volunteers to act as victims, and it kind of trains them in what to do in those situations. So hubby and I volunteered, and I was a victim. So while we're sitting there in between little scenarios, I'm like, you know, kind of layered up in 5,000 layers because it was freezing that day. It was a big abandoned warehouse, and it was cold in there. It was cold. So I had like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 layers on. And my mom came with me too, so she got to experience what that was like. I've done it before, but she hadn't. So we're kind of sitting there, and I pulled out my knitting. So where's the weirdest place I've ever knit? Was at a training for our fire and police department. And I actually have a picture. I don't know if it's going to show. I will do this in case I can get it to fit nicely next to me in my editing. If not, I will have it in my show notes. There's a picture of me. We were all required to wear these ginormous helmets where you look kind of like an alien walking around with it. There's a picture of me with my knitting in my lap and wearing this huge helmet. It's actually really funny. So that, knitters, is my weirdest place that I have ever knit. I thought that was pretty funny. I wanted to share that with you. So pop on over to the Ravelry group and share with me, where's the weirdest place you've ever knit? I'm sure some of you have got some good stories. Everybody does. So, even if it's a favorite pub or anything, again, I'm right to beer. That's how I roll. Share with me. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm going to talk about next. Giveaways. Oh, I get to talk about this. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Alright, I'll calm down. I'm so sorry. First one is Gayle from the Yarniacs approached me and was like, we are having a retreat. It's called the Knockers Retreat. I think it's the Knit Knockers Retreat. And asked if I wanted to participate and sponsor one of my patterns, as, you know, one of their prizes. And I'm like, absolutely, I love doing that. We all know that Jen loves giveaways. Totally. Oh my god. So I donated 2 of my patterns as a prize. And we had 2 winners who have now received their patterns. We had Jan, who is Unraveled 1 on Ravelry. She won my Happiness in 3 Mitts pattern. Congratulations. And then we had Karen, who is KLWCISLO. So I'm going to go KLW Sislo and take a chance there. And she won my Flutter by Dreams shawl pattern. So congratulations to you both. And I was so excited to hear who won and send them off to you. So again, I can't help it. I love a giveaway. I love giveaways. I actually like giving them more than I like getting them. I know, I'm weird. But it's how I roll. Oh my goodness. I'm dying to talk about this too. See, my neck gets even redder as I think about it. So I contacted the Yarniacs, and one of my test knitters, Uli, pronounced it right this time, Uli, She has a daughter, Erica, who's been going through some treatments and surgeries and whatnot. Poor kid's been through a lot, and I believe she's 14. So I contacted the Yarniacs. I'm like, I'd really love to send her and her little brother, Jonathan, a care package just to let them know we're thinking of them. And boom, I was flooded with people, who wanted to participate. And I sent out individual messages. So if I did miss you in the Yarniacs group, I apologize. I kind of went to who I see the most, in the thread, and I've only been in the group for so long. So again, if I missed you, I apologize. But you were definitely there and participated in spirit. So I got so much stuff. I put together this box. This box was huge. Huge. Now I'm on the East Coast, and I had to wait for it to go all the way up to Canada on the West Coast. It felt like it took an eternity. It took forever to get there. And I'm like, So I was going to talk about it in the last episode, but it hadn't gotten there yet. I'm like, any day now. Okay, you're going to get there. Finally, they got the box. And it was super exciting. So, Erica and Jonathan, I hope you enjoy everything from the Yarniacs. I had so much fun putting that together, because giveaways and surprises are my thing. So, that was super fun, and everybody had a really good time putting that together for you guys. So that is the surprise that I had referred to 2 episodes ago that I was dying to talk about. Finally, I can talk about it. There it is. Take a little sip. Get a little overexcited. I do. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. I love surprises and all that kind of stuff. It is totally my thing. It's just what I do. It keeps the smile on my mug. Okay. Whew. What's up with my patterns? She segues calmly. So, another exciting thing is finally my Dream Whisperer and Pixie Petal Jar cover patterns are done. They are released as of this morning. Done. So they are in my Ravelry store and available on my website. They're each $4 patterns, and you get 2 sizes in the pattern. One for a large jar and one for a small one. You can sort of see them lit behind me. Again, my lights are really bright in here for some reason today. I kind of hurried to put everything together so that I could film today. But finally, if you've been looking for them, they are done. They are out. Released. Whew! So now I can move on to my next pattern, which I talked about earlier a little bit, that I was swatching for. So on staycation, instead of doing selfish knitting, instead of spinning, I was swatching for another pattern, which you'd think, that's not really selfish knitting, Jen. It actually was. I had found these stitch patterns, and I'm like, it was in my head, and I had to knit it out. So that to me is selfish knitting. You are knitting out exactly what you want to do. That's selfish knitting right there. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about it. The new pattern I'm working on is, I did go with the shawl over the ornaments, so if you're looking for more ornaments, really sorry, they're coming. But I had to knit this out. Had to. You know when you have that knitting craving and you just gotta focus, you gotta make it happen. So I did. Oh my god. And it's kind of dark, so I really hope it shows up on camera. If not, I will link to, I have a project page. I can't talk today. I have a project page, or I have this on my project page. Apparently I've been taking too many sips of that beer. I will send a link to it so you can see it on my project page in Ravelry. Better. Oh my goodness, you can see the sparkles. Check it out. Oh my god. That's better than I hoped for. Oh. Sparkly dark yarn. So what do you do with sparkly dark yarn? I've wanted to make a shawl out of this forever. And I finally found something. I have named this, and Colleen, thank you. She helped me name this one. We kind of went back and forth, and I come up with some ideas, and she comes back, and then she comes back with Starlight Blooms, and I'm like, oh my god! Perfect. Starlight Blooms. And the reason it has been so named is, as you can see right here, is some little bitty flowers. And it is not a bauble. It is a purl 3 together, yarn over, purl 3 together, again into the same stitches. It's a really easy stitch. So they're little blooms. So it's almost like, if you'll look at the description that I put up for the pattern later, it's kind of like you're walking along at midnight and you stumble across this garden that's this, of flowers that's lit up by the stars and the light of the moon. Hence the dark, sparkly yarn. I know, I can't even. Cedar flowers, and then the stockinette ridge that I put in between is the flower beds, and then the eyelets are not going to show as well because this is not finished or blocked yet, but the eyelets are kind of like the leaves coming up for fresh blooms. So that's my interpretation of a garden or starlight blooms. So excited. I'm almost done. I'm so close to being done. Very, very close. I'm working on the end of the border now, so it's going to be, so yeah, there's 2 bumps of this stockinette ridge going on here. I'm going to finish it off with 4, and it should be done. It should use, I'm going to say a skein of fingering weight yarn, and it really depends. One, if you do a gauge swatch. Yes, I'm looking at you. You know who you are if you don't gauge swatch. I don't do it all the time either. It's okay. I kind of have to because I'm designing it. Anyway, if you match my gauge, you should probably, if you have like a 430 yards, you know, skein or whatnot, you won't use the whole thing, I don't think, but close. And you'll want that extra yardage too, so if you do knit a gauge swatch, you don't have to rip it out and add it to the shawl in the end because you run out of yarn. So yeah, I would recommend having a skein of fingering weight yarn handy to do this shawl. And it's the same as my Flutter by Dreams. Flutter by Dreams, I'll bet, is a hair, maybe a few rows bigger than this one, and that one uses about a skein of fingering weight too. So it's just safe to have a whole one on hand. Why not? And I used a size 6 for this one, and I'm a loose knitter. So keep that in mind if you look at my patterns and you don't do a gauge swatch. I am a loose knitter, so usually when I look at a pattern, I drop down a needle size. So definitely keep that in mind if you want to just go for it and be a rebel and just skip the gauge swatch and go for it. Please keep that in mind if you buy any of my patterns. Just in case you go to knit a jar cover and you're like, huh, it's a little small. It doesn't really fit. That would be why. So just so you know, heads up. Anyway, knit this in a size 6 because I wanted it to be a little drapey. And then I will bind off most likely with an 8. I have that written down so far, but I kind of I knit loose and I bind off tight. So I don't want this to bind off really tight. I want it to be loose so it'll be a nice stretch and it'll be lovely and pin out into a nice triangle. Oh my goodness. So it's a triangular shawl and it is a top down. So it is done with a garter tab, which I guarantee I will talk about on one of these episodes to learn how to do a garter tab, because I have heard many a groan when somebody hears garter tab. They're like, oh my god, I hate a garter tab. They're really not that bad, I swear. Once you figure out how to do it, it's not that bad. It really isn't. You just kind of do it at the top. See my little strand right here? Boop. Right at the top there. Don't even notice it. I'll sew that in, and it's all gone. And this way, I'm not starting with 325 stitches and then working my way to the end. I'm kind of working my way and making it bigger. Now, I talked about before where knitting a swatch is a good idea. You know, with trying new stitch patterns and see if you like it and whatnot. I did that. So I did that where I just did it on this little square swatch that doesn't get bigger as you go and doesn't have 2 sides that go. So I went to knit my eyelets on my shawl and I actually let it get into the whole eyelet section, which is 2 rows of, little, the whole thing, which actually was not all the way done. I was 11 rows into it. I think it's like 15 rows. Yeah, I realized they weren't leaning the correct way. They were all going bink, 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 all the way across. And you don't want to do that if you have a triangle shawl that's going like this. You'll see it when you actually... See. Okay. I don't know if it'll show up on here, which is hard because it's hard to show it when it's not blocked. But my little eyelets, yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah. They were all kind of leaning all the same direction, which it really didn't look right, in the shawl. You kind of want them to go like, all leaning out and like that to start. And then like, yeah. It's really hard to describe. If I was doing an audio podcast, this would be even worse. I'm so sorry. You'll see pictures of the pattern soon, so you know what on earth I'm talking about. Anyway, I was really tired when I noticed this mistake. And I'm like, well, I want to keep working on it, but I'm too tired. There is no way I am ripping that needle out and going back and picking up 100-some stitches of dark blue yarn at night when I'm really tired. I tanked them. Don't you laugh at me that hard. I know. You tanked them? What the hell? What were you thinking? Why didn't you put it down? What? Who does that? I do that. I tend to do things the hard way, as I talked about with my charts before. I did. I tinked all 11 rows back. It took me hours. But I was tired. I didn't care. I didn't have the brain power to knit anyway. I was unknitting. So I was tinking while we were watching, you know, our shows on DVR. It was quite alright. I didn't cry. I may have whimpered a little. But I did it. And then I knew I'd be happy because the next day I was able to, boom, pick it right back up and fix the mistake and go back on. And thankfully, the designing part of it, I was really worried about. I'm like, well, now I gotta figure out how to make them lean the right way. Can I do that? I don't know. Can I? I can! I figured out how to do it. Oh my goodness, yes I can. I figured out how to do that. So I figured out I had more skills than I originally thought. I was pretty impressed with myself, if I do say so. Anyway. So that one is almost done. So now I'm thinking of my next one. I obviously have to knit it through at least another 2 times. There's no way I can knit that only once all the way through and assume that my pattern notes and everything I wrote down were right. I would love to think that I'm that much of a genius. But no, not the case. So I'll knit it through again, and I already have this yarn in mind, and this is Woolen Rabbit. Oh my god, it's Woolen Rabbit. That's one of my favorite yarns, is by Woolen Rabbit. It's always their merino and cashmere and nylon blend, or even their merino and silk cashmere nylon blend. Oh my god. I think this one is loosened, and I don't have the tag in front of me. Oh, man, best laid plans are... Anyway, of course it's dark gray, because that's how I roll. It doesn't look it as much here. I actually thought it was blue. For some reason, I was thinking it was a dark blue, and it's actually a really dark gray, and the colorway is called Chimney Sweet. So I was kind of thinking this one would be fun, too, because it has a nice sheen to it, and it would still have that look. Like, the sparkles represent the starlight in this shawl, but in this one, the sheen would kind of cover it. So I'm like, ooh. So that may be my other nighttime one. But I kind of want to do a different interpretation of this shawl. Because I even do that, you know, in my pattern notes or my write-up about the pattern is you can take this any which way you want. Flowers at sunrise or flowers in springtime if you want. You really can do anything you want with it. So, this is where you may want to rewind because I need help. Which one of my purchases do I use to knit the next one? I can't choose. What do I do? That pink and gray one would be stinking pretty, but I really want to make socks out of it because it's BFL. So let's park that one. Maybe not all the way, just a little bit. So it's kind of a toss-up. For me, it's a toss-up between these two. It's a toss-up between this Wonderland Yarns. Yep, because it's got the greens, the purples, and all that. And this one. Oh my god. Right? How pretty would this be? I can't choose. I can't do it, knitters. I need help. Please, either comment here below my video here. You'll see we're a little place where you can comment and help me vote. Either do it here or go to the Ravelry group and in the thread for this episode, help me choose which yarn I should use to do a different interpretation of my lovely shawl. I need help. Can't do it. There's too many. See, I put myself in this predicament because I bought too much yarn? Is that possible? No, it really isn't. Okay. Phew, that was longer than I thought it was going to be. That is all I have for today. I should probably get my lazy co-host up here again. Hey, Doug, do you want a cookie? You gotta get up. Do you want a cookie? Up. All the way. Come on. Up. Lazy dog, come here. Come here. Sit. And ready? You ready to say goodbye? High five. I would get him to spin, but we don't really have a lot of space in here. So maybe I'll practice with that before getting him to do it, but it's actually a really cool trick. I could be very mean and balance it on his nose like my friend Sheelen does, which is just really mean. I'm so sorry, buddy. I had to do it for our viewers. Go. My poor dog. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope you come back again. Have a good one. Bye.